Hello. There it is. Oh, you're right. Yes.
Hey,
Hey. Sorry
how are
about
you
the other
doing?
time.
Yeah?
I said sorry about the other time. Good to see your
Oh, no
face.
problem. Same here.
Yeah.
Same.
Hi,
How's
Loretta.
everything
I think we should say a quick prayer before we start. Lord help us to configure this thing. Sorry, configure and do it the right way.
going? Amen.
Without sounding like hot people ourselves. Yeah. Anyways, good.
Amen.
How's Atlanta today?
Atlanta is hot. It's really, really hot. But it's good. It's good.
Okay. Nice, nice. So let's just wait for like maybe 2 more minutes before we get started to let people like come in.
No problem.
And do you have anything you want to say before we start the show officially?
Just God help me. And God help us to really, really, I mean, the main thing is we're trying to be as transparent as possible. And I'm
Yes.
praying that people are also as transparent with like their questions and what they chip in and everything, because that's what will really make this a good live show,
Yeah. Yeah.
contributing to
I
that.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
And I think I'll take us off a tangent a little bit and rant about something like
Okay.
a pet peeve.
I like rants. I like
I'm
it.
very particular about hand washing. Like, if I have to handle food or if I feel like I've touched something, I need to wash my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm very particular. Sometimes I won't hold that hand like until I wash it off.
Mm-hmm.
So something that I really, really dislike, I think it's become one of my top
Pet
10
peeve.
pet peeves,
Uh-huh.
is when you go to where the hand sanitizer dispenser is and you press it.
And doesn't
Especially the
come
ones
out.
that is not automatic, the ones you have to press. Like, who does that first? And then you
Oh,
press it and then nothing comes on.
yeah.
Now
Yeah.
my hand is now twice or even 10 times as contaminated as it was before I went there. Because guess who are those that go, to the hand washing place? Those that their hands are already dirty. So I'm like, of course, you're not used to
Yeah,
me.
it
So
kind of
yeah,
defeats the whole purpose. It defeats the whole purpose. But
exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
I bought like the little ones to take around with me, but I always forget them, especially changing purses. So
Oh,
it
this
kind
is
of
what you need to
defeats the
do. When
purpose
Bath
too.
and Body Works, when they have their sales next time,
Mhm.
girl, you need to get on they have like little pouches one. Sometimes they have like 5 for like $6. So I put them in all
Yeah,
of my
Bath and
purses. Like
Body
I
Works for
change
their
them. Like I always
fragrances.
have hand sanitizers.
Oh,
I
really?
can't do without having hand sanitizers.
Yeah. I love their
Anyways,
fragrances.
you what?
I said I love their fragrances, especially the massage oil. Bath and Body Works
Yeah,
massage oils. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. I mean, I need to. I think I will even need prayers for that Bath and Body Works. I didn't buy into them before,
Are you a
but now,
shareholder?
I think I should just even. You know how you can split your paycheck into two. You can have, you know, maybe a portion of your paycheck go somewhere. I think it should
Go
be
to
Bath and
Bath
Body
and
Works.
Body Works. Yeah.
Because before I didn't buy anything from them, I never had any. I think this is how it started. I got like
Mhm.
birthday gifts when I like maybe 3, 4 years ago, and
Uh-huh.
somebody got me like a set from Bath and Body. I was like, what sorcery is this? And it smelled so nice. The mistake
Mm.
I made was going to the store myself.
Oh.
My goodness. Last year, they have like their two big sales in the year,
Uh-huh.
sometime in June and sometime in December.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this because I'm all about Bath and Body Works, right? And in December, I went to the one in Oklahoma City. Like, you just tell yourself, I need this. I know you don't need it, but you
Mm-hmm.
just keep stashing all these things, like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, as if you're preparing for another World War III or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had so much stuff, and I traveled to New York right away. Like, maybe the next day or so, I
Mm-hmm.
went to the store in New York as if I had not seen those things on sale before, and then I bought more. So somebody needs to like put my picture in Bath and Body Works. Like, she
Fun
shouldn't
of
come
saying
here. It's
most
one of my
wanted. Wow.
Anyways, well,
Yeah.
we're just gonna go ahead and get started. Thank you
Okay.
for the 4 people watching so far. This is the More Sibyl podcast. It's also the live show. Something I just started doing recently just to put myself out there. I'm still not comfortable with the idea of video. So you might see me looking away a lot, not because I don't like you, just because I don't like seeing myself talk. I don't even like hearing myself talk. I feel like I sound, a little bit off. So yeah, if you haven't gone on the website, check out www.mosibyl.com, where you find a lot of episodes curated for your listening pleasure. And today I have a wonderful guest and a wonderful friend. And Loretta. Anyways, Loretta, I met Loretta, I think maybe 5 years ago, thereabout. And
2014.
there you go.
Was it
4 years
2014?
ago.
No, it was 2014.
Yes, 4 years ago. And she's very resourceful. And I mean, there's an episode with her that I'm going to share more about her, but I'm going to let her say a little bit more about herself. She currently lives in Atlanta, by the way. So, Loretta, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Um, hmm, that's an open-ended question. I really hate that question. Well, okay. Okay, just in summary, I'm an engineer turned project manager by career. And then as far as my business, I do like event management, graphic design, websites, all that type of stuff. And then I do startup consulting, brand advising, things like that. And I'm delving into media as well, photography, videography, voiceover, artist, creative direction, and things like that. And honestly, if I was to sum myself up in one word, I would just really say I'm a visionary. That's at the
Yeah.
core of who I am. I'm a visionary, and I might seem confused to some people that aren't really visionaries, but that's who I am.
She's a creative.
Yeah, I'm a creative entrepreneur. Yeah, and I'm a
Yep, yep,
visionary.
yep, 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 yep. Anyways, good. So one of the things we're going to talk about today is friendship. And I haven't openly, I mean, if you follow me on Facebook, if you read some of my posts, you'll see some nuances that, and I have this zest for life. I have good friends. But then there's also so many things that you probably don't know about me. I mean, I think people, not just about me, I think generally, we have those friends that, if you look back, we think about the impact they made in our lives.
Mhm.
And then we have those friends that they started good, you guys started good, and something happened. And maybe you don't
Along
even
the
talk to
way.
yourselves anymore. Or maybe you hurt somebody as a friend, or maybe somebody hurt you. So I remember just calling Loretta, like, hey, do you want to do a live show about women? She was like, yeah. It's like, what do you think about this topic, fresh? It's like, oh my goodness. Of course I want to talk about friendship. So we just wanted to start from the beginning and then work our ways to number one, how to heal from broken friendship. And then if you were the one that did the hurting, how do you go about restoring not the friendship, but at least restoring faith? Because I think for some of us that have those unhealed ones, like massively unhealed ones, like something like that, but is that maybe because there was never closure, you never really got to talk to the person about what happened, but you guys just stopped talking, and then
Mhm,
it became this awkward gulf war between you guys, and it's hard to go back. So we're
mhm.
gonna do that, and we're gonna do that spiritually. If you have any questions, please put them on the comment box. I'm actually reading as I'm going up. So I think I'm gonna start with this, Loretta. Why do we need friends?
Why do we need friends? We need friends because the world is lonely without them. That's,
Mm-hmm.
that's honestly how I
No,
feel. I feel like to accomplish more, you need people, and the world is lonely without them. They really help as far as your well-being as well. Being able to connect with people, it helps your
yeah,
well-being emotionally, mentally, just all round. And
yeah.
but of course, like we're going to discuss, one of the biggest issues is managing those friendships. So yeah.
Yep. And I should even qualify it now and say when we talk about friends, we're talking about same sex friendships, right? I
Mm-hmm.
try girls and boys because this is my own core belief. In my opinion, you can't be friends with the opposite sex for life. Like you can't be best friends with somebody that is not your spouse, especially when you get married. That kind of changes because there's no way your spouse to see you as best friend with somebody else, and like you can be friends, but like best friend, like
Except it's
really charming,
it's an
telling them
open
everything.
relationship. except,
Exactly, but like
except
you,
it's an
you can
open
have friends that are
relationship.
not the same sex. But we talk about best friends, like they're the first person you want to call in the morning, and they're your spouse. I mean, that's really awkward, except you have an open relationship, like Loretta said. So our focus there will be mostly on girl-to-girl relationship, which to me, I think has the most tension if you compare boys-to-boys relationship. And I don't know why,
Why do you think that is?
I think, okay, let me just speak for myself. I don't have sisters, I grew up with boys. And even though I spent 6 years in a boarding house with girls, it feels awkward, like connecting with girls. I don't know. I feel like my good friends so far, and I do have a lot of female friends that are really good, but the ones that I've had like the least friction as a whole with will be boys.
Boys.
I don't know. I think it's just maybe it's the emotional thing or how girls are supposed to like compete with each other. I don't know. There's just something off there. But we do need our girlfriends. Like we need our girlfriends. Like I'm married. I don't want to talk to my spouse all the time about my issues. I like to, have girlfriends so we
Yes.
can have, our own time out. And I think it's also healthy for a relationship. We're not putting all your friendship
Burden on
baskets
one
into your
person.
spouse,
Yes.
demanding everything for your spouse. I think they'll be very happy for it if you had, friends. Of course, friends that share the same value as you. Friends that won't like, push you in the wrong direction. So that's why I think we need friends for a balanced life. And I also feel like couples need couples. Like if you're married, find a married couple as well that also share your values. And that way you guys can even talk about it. I don't believe in this thing of, in a marriage there's no third party. No. And there are many third parties. The therapist could be the third party, the pastor could be the third party. Like how do you you can't keep all of that stuff inside. You have to find people to share
Yeah.
with.
An
So I
outlet.
think we need friends. We need people that share our values. And so that's that. Next question for you. Thanks for that answer, by the way. How do you go about finding friends?
How do you go about finding friends? I think number one is you have to be a friend. You have to,
That was
in
my
order,
point.
yes, in order to find friends, you have to be a friend,
Yeah,
because the truth is that something about you will naturally attract what you give off.
yeah,
Because there's that whole principle of sowing and reaping, right? That just
yeah.
generally is about this universe. And so what you give off naturally finds its way back to you. So I would say start out being a friend, and then when it comes to friendship, some of them naturally happen. I mean, it's okay. We took class together and then we became friends. Or I met you in the line at a grocery store and then we talked a little bit. But it's again all about connecting. It's that conversation that leads to, oh, hey, you know what? Let's exchange numbers. And then we start talking. So that's really how you find friends. It's from putting yourself out there. Some people like virtual friends. Some people find friends on Facebook. I have some friends that are on my Facebook I've never met, but I will call them friends. And
Yeah.
there are times I've gone through difficulties where from nowhere they will just reach out, and I'm like, wow, that's encouraging. So there are different ways to find friends. Physically, it's through just living life. You meet people, and then virtually, it's through like social media, things like that. What is
Good.
that
I
about?
mean, I like what you said about, how you can find friends. You can find them intentionally, or you can find them, what's the word? Just, coincidentally. I think that's the word for it. Um, there's something I want to add to that, and is that whole principle of give and take. Like for you to have good friends, you have to be a good friend. Lila and Nkechi area saying hi.
Hey
What's up,
guys,
girls?
thanks for
What's up,
joining.
ladies? There's a thing in Korean called judo batke, meaning give and take. Like when you have friends, you're not doing
What
the
did you
things you
call
do
it?
with them,
Say
the
it
things you do
again.
for them. Huh?
Say it again. What did you call it?
Oh, it's judo batke. Like it's give and
Mm,
take. Yeah.
mm,
And it's that concept of when you do stuff for friends, you're not doing it because you're trying to store treasures or something you want to cash in.
mm.
When you love somebody, you give yourself off of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's how friendships, like the ones that are really strong, is because people are investing in you as much as you're investing in them. No, it might not be the
Mhm,
same amount, but when people that can depend on you, for example, they know to call you for that. And
mhm,
I believe that for you to choose friends, don't choose friends based on, for example, chemistry or for their personality alone or for how they make you feel when you're with them. Because those
mhm,
are good things, but they're not things that last. I think knowing your character and the values of your friends, like knowing what they stand for. And some might not actually say these are my values, but by
mhm.
observing them, you can know, okay, uh, So they shout at the waiters as well, or these people they use some words that I'm not comfortable with. So know their character, know their true values, because those can prevent you from being hurt. Some people that you meet them for the first time, like, okay, I like you, but we're not gonna be friends, and that's okay. We're not clicking. Like, it's okay. We can be we can be those people that connect from afar. So that's that. And there's also that thing about show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. I think that's really true. The first time I heard it in high school, I was like, who are these people giving all this kind of proverbs? Like, it didn't make sense to me, but it really does. Like, from your friends, you can look at the people you surround your life with, and that's a reflection of who you are, as a whole. And then, do you have anything else to add to that before I move on to the next one?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, the truth about friendship is that we all have our ups and downs generally in life. Like, forgiveness is a big deal in friendships. That's a major thing, being able to forgive when someone does something wrong, because we're all in different mental spaces. There might be someone that just experienced a death in the family, for example, and they have not fully dealt with that, right? And maybe you're having a conversation with them and they're just giving off some kind of negative energy. Like, sometimes you have to be that understanding person that says, okay, you know what, I know what's going on with them. It's not always an excuse for their behavior, but they don't know how to deal with it. And another thing is that different people have different love languages. That's a big thing.
Oh,
I
that's
know that we
true.
look at the 5 love languages as far as like marriages and things like that, but it applies a lot to friendships. Like,
It does.
one of my biggest love languages is quality time. You can give me gifts. I love gifts, but I prefer you, even if you give me gifts and we don't spend quality time, to me, we're not friends. You understand? And the funny thing about
Maybe.
human beings is that sometimes we try to give based on our love language. If I
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
someone else that, maybe their love language is receiving gifts and mine is quality time, I'll be trying so hard to spend quality time with them, but in their mind, they're probably thinking,
But
this
it's
one is not my
not.
friend because
It's
they
not.
never give me gifts. You understand? So you have to study your
Yeah.
friends. It's like the way you study your spouse or anything like that. You study your friends, the way you study your boss at work. Knowing, I mean, I've had some bosses that I just know their personality. There are certain times I don't ask for certain things because I know they're not in a good mood. And I know that at that time I might get the wrong response. So it's about
Yeah.
studying your friends. It takes work. It takes work.
It does. It does.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard. And so before I used to pride quantity over quality. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
can make friends easily, which is a trap,
Mm-hmm.
because making friends easily and keeping friends are two different
Two
things.
different things.
Because there's just something about my personality where people feel very free talking to me. I mean, I can talk to anybody. I'm not shy. So
Mm-hmm.
people might misconstrue that as, oh, she's friendly. I am friendly, but it takes a lot of work having to balance all those kind of people around you. And I
Mm-hmm.
like that thing about forgiveness. Now,
Yeah.
without mentioning names, I've had 3 friendships that altered my perspective. Maybe, but not in a damaging way. Initially, it was very hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
And one, I decided that I can't be friends with this person anymore. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way I can be friends with this person anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about the good times we had. I thought about everything, and I weighed everything, carefully, because ending a relationship, especially with someone that you had that history with, can be very, very, it can be very hurtful
It
to you
can be
as
an
well, in
emotional
addition
wreck.
to whatever
Yeah.
transpired between both of you. So before
Mm-hmm.
you end the relationship, make that decision slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Make that decision slowly. Don't act on what they just did in the moment. If the
Mm-hmm.
person is good, if they have, good values, they are decent people, and they've
Mm-hmm.
been your friends for a while, then see if you
Mm-hmm.
can forgive them. And
Mm-hmm.
forgiveness doesn't mean that, you have to still keep those people in your life, especially if you find that there's a pattern of toxicity and they're not ready to change. You
Yes.
can't change
Yeah.
anybody. Then you can step aside, but love them from afar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the hardest thing I had to learn, that you don't have to be friends with somebody to really love them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we're not like doing all things we should do together. Doesn't mean I love you any less. But we can't be in that space where our spirits can be together. Because when I think about friendships, I think about David and Jonathan in the Bible, just
Mm-hmm.
how they were giving of each other. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't I don't know if I have that level of, that quality friendship that David
Yeah.
and Jonathan had between them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one. And then there was one that I think the last one, this was sometime in 2015. I actually wrote about it, and I'm going to share that link. Um, it was a couple friend, like my husband and me, and this
We're friends
couple were
with them.
really good friends. And in a place like America, where friendship is not something that, it happens naturally, like you have in Nigeria. Here, you have to even schedule your time with people. Hello, Colade, Mr. Colade Paul. And so we're friends for a while, and it was good. It was good to have that family. It was so close that they could just come stop by and see us without having to make an appointment, which is a big deal here. And then something happened, they just stopped talking to us, and until today, I don't know what happened. And I was really hurt from that. Like I grieved about it. I think I went through the stages of depression, of grief. Sorry, depression, denial, and then final acceptance. And I didn't know why I felt that way, because I just thought these people are just friends. Why is it so heavy on me? Why am I so burdened by this? And I realized that what, when you are friends with somebody, it's almost like a relationship. It's not romantic in a way, but there's a bond there.
Yeah.
So if you have those friendships where you feel like you don't know what happened, this person just stopped talking to you, it's okay to grieve. It's okay to feel like you've lost something. But guess what? Don't let that change you. Don't let that change your love for people.
Yeah.
Don't let that change the way you communicate to other people. Don't let those experiences, don't carry them over into your new relationship and be that person walking around with them, whatever their face or whatever their name is, with the person sized hole in your heart because you couldn't let go of that. So that's that.
Yeah. And
Forgiveness is. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I
No,
really
you
like
go
what you also said about like David and Jonathan, because I was just reading
ahead.
Proverbs 18, I think it's verse 24, that talks about like if someone that has unreliable friends, quickly gets to ruins, but there's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. And I think that
The
was really the
brother,
case of
yes,
David and
yes, yes.
Jonathan. I mean, Jonathan was like the son of David's, in quotes, enemy, but he was a friend, so being able to really understand friendships. I mean, it's an interesting thing. It really is an interesting thing. And
Yeah,
I feel like we really need to take and pay more attention at managing friendships, because a lot of times things that we're supposed to accomplish get affected by those emotional things that happen.
it
And
does.
and
It
and
does.
it's a major thing, because a lot of times some of us feel bad. We're like, oh, maybe I should have done something better. Sometimes it's just the end of the friendship. That's the truth.
It
Sometimes it's
is.
just
It
the end of
is.
the friendship. And
But we're not
maybe,
taught that. We're not taught how to end, like how when a friendship ends, what
yeah,
to do. We're not really taught
we're
that.
not. Yes,
No,
that's the truth. It's not like you don't go to school for that, how to end. Except
no,
maybe, I don't know
no.
if psychology majors deal with that. They probably do.
There's not even like conventional wisdom of what to do when you
Yeah,
when you
because
stop being
everyone
friends
is
with somebody.
different, right?
There's so many things about how to make friends, how to put yourself out there.
Mhm.
But then what do you do when this person you really love, when
Yeah. I
there's
think
a lot of
I think
space now?
honestly it's an individual thing at the end of the day. The way you grieve, the way everyone grieves is different. Like me, a lot of
Yeah.
times I have to cry. I have to cry. The
A
moment
lot.
I've cried,
I cry
I've
all the
let go.
time.
I have to cry. I have to cry. And there's something that we talked about earlier about, sometimes you don't get closure, you don't get to talk to the person. And I think that's also important, because there are a lot of us, like me, I used to be like that, where I wanted closure. I always wanted to be able to talk about it and, say how I felt and all of that. But as I matured, my mindset shifted into more of,
Yeah,
you have to be able to let things go without without the other person being
yeah,
involved sometimes. And that will happen.
yeah,
And so you have to
yeah.
deal with that on your own, because what happens when you don't deal with that is that, just like taking past hurts into new relationships, you take past
It's
friendship hurts into new friendships. That's just the
it's the
truth.
same cycle. It's the same cycle. And I
Yeah.
like what Pastor
Elliot.
Elliot said. He said some people are for seasons, not for lifetimes. Yes. Some people are like Santa Claus, they're only there for the season and they go back and then you have to do that. And when no, seriously, when that particular friendship I wrote about, for me, when I deal with things like that, I either cry or write about it. Like once I can pen my words down, it's a healing process for me. And I wanted it in such a way that I wasn't gonna, misalign this person or call them horrible people, because they're
Mhm.
good people. But
Yeah.
for whatever reason, they just felt like we
It
couldn't be
just
friends with
wasn't
them anymore.
working.
And me
Mhm.
not knowing what exactly that reason was something I wanted to know. I just because I like closure, I like to just know, okay, this is what we did. Okay, let me know. And even if I apologize, if you don't want to be friends anymore, that's fine. But you not
Mhm.
knowing exactly what you did and the person just cutting you
It kind
off,
of is hard.
was something I had to grapple with. And
Mhm.
I haven't had my heart broken before until this happened. And it happened with friends, not even with like a sexual relationship or romantic relationship. So it's very hard for me to process, like, why am I this sad about things? Why am I, you know? So I'm just saying that it's okay to grieve about friendship. And because I had to talk to God about it, like, why did this happen? Like, you saw that we needed these people as much as needed us. And what I got from that was, maybe we had just this, we're kind of codependent on each other. I don't know. Maybe it was just God's way of just making us focus more on Him than depending on each other for our, I don't know what, see, this is just me grasping at straws. But I became a better person for it because I became more intentional about my friendship. Like everything we did with them, if I could do it again, I'll do it again. Because I don't do friendship because it's convenient for me anymore. I don't do friendship because of what I might get from you. You know, if you want to live there, that's fine. You know, it's okay. I will cherish the time we had together, but it's not gonna break me. It's the way I am right now. But when I'm with you, I'm intentional. You know, I'm intentional, and that's why it made me even gather my good friends together, and I became more intentional. So that was one thing that friendship, you know, taught me.
And you find
You
out
can
that
be a story.
you have more time to spend with your good friends. You would give more because you're now giving from a place of wholeness and friendships.
Yes, yes. And that's the thing with people like us that is so easy to make friends, is that we just gather everybody. We forget that not everybody should be in that close circle. So I think of myself as having like concentric circles, those in the inner circle, and then the next one, and then the next one, and those like far away from the fence. So the ones that are in and out, I should be able to count them in maybe 5 or 2 of my, you know, hands. And they always say if you can count 5 of your friends, if you can have 5 friends that anything goes barely up to you can call them, then you've made it big in life. So it made me like focus more on who are really my friends, like not the people that I just conveniently, you know, made friends with because they were right there, but who those, because one thing we are blind about, people like me, is we're more for the numbers and we forget about the people that have been waiting there, people that really genuinely love us, you know. And that's one of the things I had to learn. Like I should stop chasing and trying to find people and focus on the ones that are already there.
Yes.
See, that's hard, you know, because you're like, I want everybody in my corner. I want everybody in my corner. So that's that. I know.
It's really, really hard.
Eh?
I say it's really, really hard to
What
accept love. It took me, honestly, it took me some time to learn how to accept love, to be honest, because there's a technique to knowing how to accept love. You know, naturally, because if you're a giver, especially if you're someone that just gives love, gives everything, you know, when someone tries to give you, you find yourself saying, oh no, I'm fine, oh no, I'm fine. And like it's feeling you that is rejecting love. That's the truth.
Yeah.
It's you rejecting love. A lot of times we're just, and it's like humble loving or humble bragging. You know you need it.
No, it's pride.
And you're like, oh no,
it's pride. Yeah.
It's pride. That's also true.
It's like,
pride. But some of it's like
pride.
Is this level of pride that is not like the boasting type, but it's
like,
look
at me. Oh, like, good. Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm good. You know, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
I understand it. It's just a false pride, but you don't call it pride. And I used to be that way because I love to do stuff for people, but I wasn't okay with people doing stuff for me. And then say, how do you do friends if you're always giving them? I mean, that's awkward to always be the person doing stuff for people. Let them bless you back, you know, let them give back to you. Yeah. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And then Kolade said something. When you tell all your friends, all your plans to a so-called best friend, you tell him or her your secret because you love him or her. Then you later find out what you told your best friend. Somebody already heard it. That's on them. That's on them. If you tell somebody a secret and you tell somebody, that's on them. Doesn't mean you should stop trusting people. They'll be dealt with spiritually in many ways. Just leave them to God. You know, leave them to God. And I know many people have been bruised by that. Like you confided in somebody and then you heard it all over Instagram or Twitter, whatever, you know, the gospel, wherever the rumor mill right now is, you know, generating from. That's on them. So don't let that change you as well. Still, you know, find those people you can trust. I still believe that people that can be trusted. Yes. Ujuru said, I call it humble bragging. Yes, it's humble bragging. It's also pride. Yeah, humble bragging.
It is.
Now talk about, you know, friends. Let's talk about toxic, you know, relationship. And I feel like there are many kinds of toxic relationship, but the three that come to my mind are those that are negative, those that are controllers, and those that are tempters. And chances are we have experienced all these kind of toxic relationships in our life. And chances are that we've also been toxic to people, not because we are toxic people, but because we're probably in a stage in our life where we just weren't there, all there. So for I don't know if you've had an experience where you know that you messed up in this relationship. Like, dang, I could have been a better friend. Do you have
I
any
think
example?
I think I've had the experience in all my friendships, honestly. Because one thing, I'm being honest. You said be transparent. I'm being transparent. You know, the truth is that I'm a very lazy friend. I'm a very, very, I have friends that I know, like one in particular, that she goes out of her way to call people, check on people, and it's just her nature.
That's
It's not
me.
like yeah, that's you too. That's true. You're also
Are you
like
talking
that.
about me?
No, 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 it's not you I'm talking about, but there's another person I know that's like that. But like me, I'm a very lazy friend. If you leave me, and I'm an introvert too, I'm very conversational and all of that, but I'm highly introverted. So if you leave me, I may not talk to a friend for 6 months. That's
Hi.
me. But like the moment I pick up the phone and talk to you, we
There
can
is
be on the phone
God.
for like 3 hours and we'll catch up and then we
Never,
don't talk again for the next. That's just how I am. But I text a lot. That's another thing about me. I text a lot. So I can text and text and text and text and text you. But like to actually pick up the phone and call, it's just I know it's laziness. I know it's something that
yeah,
has to be worked on. You understand? But I'm also
yeah,
grateful for the few that have been able to understand that, okay, you know what, this is her personality and just love me, because the truth about friendship is that we all have flaws. There's no
of
perfect
course,
person. We all
of
have flaws,
course.
but it's also important that we do our best to work on those things. Like I'm very task oriented, so I'm a planner. At a point, for me, it's gonna get to a point where I'm gonna have to like plan, call this person, call that person, and actually put it in a to-do list and put in a calendar. I'm so serious
Yeah,
because that's just how task-oriented people are. A lot of times you have to literally do that to push yourself. You understand? If you say, I
yeah,
really love this
yeah.
person and I want to work on this friendship. But again, like I said, at the end of it all, it's about understanding, because how you relate with Mr. A is different from how you relate with
Different
Mr. B
people,
or
yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
C.
yeah.
It's like
And I
having
feel like most
partners
people
that
are they're very, they don't even know themselves very well, you know. And so when you go into the friendship, you're not aware of, what your flaws are or what your limitations are.
Mhm.
And I've had friends that tell me things that I'm not very good at, things that they would want me to improve. And
Mhm.
initially, of course, I wasn't happy about this kind of feedback. But I've come to understand that when you're in a relationship with somebody, that's like almost like a test run of your life. They can tell you
Mm.
things that you can improve in yourself.
Things that you
And
don't see.
things you don't see because they come out more in the dynamic of a relationship,
Mhm.
you know. And almost like when you get married, you get to know your real self. So when we're telling people like, I want to be friends with you, we should be willing to listen, to what
Mhm.
they're telling us, because you can get a lot of good feedback from that. And
Mhm.
I found that also understanding, like you said, the personality of people you're friends with.
Yes.
I know friends that they like me to call them, they like me to check up on them, which I do. And I have friends that they're not very comfortable with the checking all the time. So I
Mhm.
see ourselves maybe a year later and we just carry on from
That's
where we
true.
went. So I
Yeah.
have like almost like a Rolodex of those kind of people in my head, like, oh, this person needs
Mhm.
a checkup, let's do that. This person's fine,
Mhm.
we'll bump in, we'll find ourselves like a year
So
later,
much.
we'll do that.
Yeah.
And also understanding the interests of your friends. Like when you know somebody, like knowing them for what they like. So it could
Mhm.
be a simple thing as sending them a new song from one of your favorite artists. Like, oh, your band
Yes.
just released a song. I want to listen.
Oh
I
my
mean, it doesn't
God.
take a lot of things to like invest in your friend. It could even be like, oh, I saw this and I think you should buy it on Amazon, or
Mhm.
just randomly send them
That's
something
the
that they
kind
were
of
never
friend I
expecting.
think I am.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah,
That's
you
the
do
kind of
that.
friend
I
I
think you do
think
that. You're
I
very good
am.
at that. Like you send links, you do that.
Yes.
So I don't think that's like the toxicity we're talking about. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
okay, let me dial back a little bit. I mean, toxicity can be really bad. Like, especially when you're in a space where you're not spiritually sound, you shouldn't even be dealing with people. You should be on a mountaintop somewhere, just praying to God to like take away the devil from you.
Mhm.
And I've been in that moment where I knew that I could have been a better friend to somebody, and I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Mhm.
So case in point, I don't like I like people giving me feedback like immediately. Not that you wait like 5 years later and say, oh, by the way, you did this something 3 years ago. That I just turn off. Like I can't. It's hard for me to trust somebody like that. And God has been trying to teach me how to be patient. So something happened recently. One of my very good friends, just
Mhm.
we're arguing about over something that I did, and then she sent a voice note, And anyways, I was mad and she was mad and we weren't talking. And I thought to myself, okay, this has been 2 weeks. We hadn't talked to each other. And I really missed that because she's the kind of person like we can spend hours on the phone. But I really wanted to straighten things out because I was angry because she said I did something and she didn't let me know until I said, what's up? Why are you all, different? She's like, oh, by the way, you did this. I'm like, really? Why didn't you not tell me immediately? Because I want to know immediately. Not that you wait until I start asking you. Oh yeah, tell me, tell me, tell me. I mean, I'm a different person when it comes to my marriage because I'm that kind of person in my marriage where if my husband like does something, I don't tell her like I'm all put you around the house. But in my friendship, I want a different kind of setting, which kind of shows how very controversial I can be. And anyway, we got talking, and I feel like most people are afraid of conflict in relationship.
Yes.
Conflict can be very healthy for a relationship.
Yes.
You can actually let people know where you stand. So at the end of the day, me and this person made up, but I let her know. I know you're not comfortable with telling me all the time if I do something wrong, but I would like to hear it. And I promise that I will listen. If I do anything wrong to you, or if I say something you don't like, and you feel like you needed to straighten it out, just let me know. Like, let me know so I can deal with it immediately. Because when I start hearing you say, oh, by the way you did this, you said this 3 weeks ago, to me, it's like, actually, like, it's the wheels in my head are like spinning, and I'm like, oh no, because that's like one of my greatest red flags in relationships. When people cannot just say, and I know it's hard for people to be they feel like if they say they're being confrontational. So I let her know this is me saying it out there. Like, if I do something to you, don't like, let me know. Because when I say things out of my mind, it's out of my mind. Like I'm not like keeping it. And I expect this kind of standard from people, but not everybody's that way. So that's that.
And I think there are stages to friendships too. I mean, there are some friends that initially you might not be able to just because you're still figuring them out. You might still be trying, oh, I don't know. But I think the important thing is communication, being able to say how you feel and just say, look, we just started being friends and we're getting closer and I just want to make sure it's comfortable. If there's anything that I feel like you could have done better. The way you present it also matters. But some people don't like directly being blamed, like, oh, you messed up, and yelling at people, but being able to present it in the right way and say, look, I love you, I respect you as a friend, and I feel like we should grow together as friends. And, if there's anything that you feel like I should have done better, how would you like me to present it to you?
Yeah.
And
that's another thing.
And
go ahead.
And there are friends that would tell you, like, for example, I used to be that kind of person. I still kind of am, where I will say, you know what, tell me anything, just tell me. But however, let me not use but, however, sometimes you telling me that thing might still affect that friendship some way or the other, because I'm very analytical. And so I start thinking deep. So what does she mean by, and I start tracing down, I start thinking too deep. So
alone, by the way, you're doing that alone without the person to even feedback on that. And if you're like me, you digest things slowly, so it might be 3 days later.
But it really, really click, and you say, "Wait, okay, like, now let's talk about this."
Man, go easy, pa. Elliot said something that not everybody is a close friend. Some are acquaintances, then actual friends. You have to know the difference. Yes.
Very important.
Is that awkward thing of I don't know how to introduce somebody, like, is this person a friend? But I just met them like two. Like, okay, let's even ask. At what point do you define somebody as a friend? If you meet somebody today, like, how do you decide when that person is your friend? Like, is it like a time lapse? Like, you have to have gone on this many dates together, or maybe like this, like hanging out together, or like how do you call someone? How do you label somebody a friend versus an acquaintance? How do you know the difference?
I don't think there's a time lapse, because I mean, I approach, like, let's look at even the religious standpoint. The moment I give my life to Christ, I'm saved. You understand? And then there's the growing phase of it, right? Of when I get to know, study, all those things. So I feel like the moment, you meet and you can call yourself friends, the moment, like, there's that thing of that draws you together as friends, not just, oh, hello, hi, but like as friends, that goes, the step from acquaintances, the step from hello, hi, then at that point, you're friends. Now, the way you manage that friendship is what matters. They're bad friends, they're good friends, but friend is friend. Like, a friend is a friend at the end of the day. It's just a matter of how it's managed.
Yeah. But something Pastor Elliot said, I have learned friendship should not be so much work. I want to disagree with that slightly. Friendship should be work because a relationship you're invested into, or that someone is investing into you, there should be some work in it. Now, it shouldn't be a lot of work that is like sapping away all of your life force and energy. But I feel like there's some work you have to put into a relationship. That's just my opinion. I don't know what you think about that, Loretta.
It's very important. You have to put work. It's very, very important. Like I said, I'm a very, very lazy friend, so I'm like the wrong definition of trying. But one thing I know I do is I give off based on what I know about people. It's like even when I give gifts, I've always been that friend. I don't just give you anything. I won't just go, oh, because she's a woman, let me go buy her a purse, a Chanel
Yeah.
purse or something.
Yeah.
I listen out for something you may have said
That's
years ago
me.
that you need. There's one of my friends that had said, oh yeah, I need that iPad. I might buy her that iPad when I have the money to. You understand where I'm coming from? But that's just how I am. I listen,
Yeah.
and for me, there's a deeper connection there because it means that, okay, I'm hearing you. I know what you really need and I know what you're going to use, not just buying you anything. So,
Yep.
yeah.
I agree with that. I mean, one of the Korean students that I worked with, he was when he came over to my house, because I usually have them over, he had seen me use this potato peeler,
Mm-hmm.
and he was very, like wild by like, you guys have this in the US. I'm like, yes. I was like, wow, that it just, he was looking at it. It's just like maybe $10 or so. It wasn't a lot of money. But I think it was just the way I was using it. Like it was something that was gonna be useful to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they're about leaving to the US, back to Korea, I always, call them over for one last time. We'll have a last meal and I'll give them like small gifts. Could be like books based on their person. I know someone that like cooking, so I got him a cookbook. And
Mm-hmm.
this guy I got him the potato peeler and I was like, wow, you remember? I'm like, yeah, I remember. Like,
That's it.
I feel like going out of your way for a friend, it doesn't have to be something very expensive.
Mm-mm.
Thoughtful, very thoughtful. Like
Mm-hmm.
for my husband, for example, he's bought me a lot of stuff, which I like. But my most prized possession was a CD that he got for me, a Michael Bublé CD.
Mm-hmm.
Because he knew, like, he's not like into like music as much as I am into.
Mm-hmm.
But he got that for me because the CD just came out, and I mean, see, nobody even listens to CD anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have that CD because it's probably one of my most prized possessions. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
cost him a lot of money, but it meant a lot to me.
Yes.
So it doesn't. I don't think it takes a lot of work as far as physical labor. But yes, you have to
No.
listen to your friend, and
Yes.
you have to have people that also put back into your life.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Pastor Elliot also said true friendship would not be affected by time or distance.
Yes.
Distance,
That's
yes.
true.
I'm busy. Like I don't. I have friends that, for example, one thing I know might drive my friends crazy is them if they might call me and I might not pick up the phone. Not because I don't want to talk. I'm probably busy. And I've had some of them like call me out and they're like, I hate getting your voicemail. And I have to explain to them, phone calls are not really my thing. I'm not always by my phone to, use my phone, but I make sure I try to return their calls. And so they're okay with that. But
Mm-hmm.
what really would drive me crazy with a friend if they kept talking about that all the time, despite my explanation.
Oh, nagging
But
friends. Oh my God. Yes, I've had
like
nagging friends.
I can't be by
Mm-hmm.
my phone all the time. Like I don't have the time to like always talk to you on the phone. So
Mm-hmm.
that would like drive me crazy with a friend. And I've not had a lot of friends do that. But once I explain and they know that she's gonna call me back or because I usually just text back like, hey, I can't talk right now, send me a text or things like that. So I think understanding your friend and understanding that they might not speak your language, like you said. Some people don't like being on the phone, some just like texting. You might like being on the
Mm-hmm.
phone, but your friend might not like that. But that's not what you can get from people, and that will make for a better balanced relationship.
Mm-hmm. It will.
Yeah.
It will. And I think
Yeah.
I really like what you said about I hate to use the word nagging, but that's really what it is, nagging friends.
Yeah.
There are those people in life that you say, I'm sorry, and
Nagina.
you hear it 10 more times, or there are people that would call you 5 more times and want to talk about it 5 more times. And that is part of toxicity. I'm going to be very
I don't
honest.
like petty talks.
What
Like
it
my friends
is
should know
is,
that.
yeah, and what it is that they've not fully, there's something, it's them. There's something with them that they're not at peace with. So they feel they need to still talk to you about it because they're trying to
Yeah.
justify something. So, with those kind of friends, like one of them was really, really toxic. I just stayed away for a long time. Another one, I actually would listen to her and keep apologizing. I would just, I mean, it was, let's sit in the car, let's talk. You know, I would just listen. And this was years ago, by the way, but you know, toxicity is toxicity. Stay away from
It
it
is.
because whether you
It
like it or not,
is.
it affects you and it
Yeah.
affects your relationship with the people that are truly your friends, and you end up
Yeah.
pushing those ones away. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another thing I don't like doing is talking about people. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
had this friend that would just want to gossip about our friend. I'm like, I can't like if I hear something about a
It's
friend, I'll call
people
them
will
and
ask
like,
you,
or am I even joking ask them that question? And then you
right?
call me and start talking about our friends, and I'm like, I can't like I sometimes I'll leave that conversation feeling like virtue had left me. I'm like, no. So we just it kind of distanced ourselves because I didn't like that. Because when you tell me
Mm-hmm.
something about somebody, it's hard for me not to look at that person,
A
without
certain way, yeah.
through the lens of what you told me about
Mhm.
them. I mean, I'm like, why not let's just ask this person exactly, that, but they'll be like, no, no, don't do that. That's gossip. But you're calling me on the phone and talking about a mutual friend. I don't like that. And that one was, I felt that I had to just be a certain person that they wanted. If I didn't do things a certain
Mm.
way, if I didn't say things a certain way, and
Trying to
like you
please
said, not
them.
like apologizing physically, but I was just exerting myself.
Yeah.
It's like I was in a boxing match just trying to like, I'm like, no, this is a lot of work. Like the time I spent with this person, I could spend it with, five other people, almost like a toddler I was handling. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's toxicity. I think it's very hard for us to understand what toxicity. If a friend is draining your life, like you feel just when they're calling you, you're like, you don't even want to pick up the phone. That's a bad sign. Not because you're
Mm-hmm.
busy, but because you just
It
think
is a
like,
bad
I don't
sign
want to talk to this person. And
because
when
it's something in you trying to run away from negativity.
that's it. That's a
Yes.
sign right there. It's either
Mm-hmm.
you address it to the person or you just slowly break away and then let them know, okay, you know what? I don't think this is working. And
Mm-hmm.
as much as we're talking right now, if somebody breaks up with you in that way, let them go. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
we was just not a fit. Don't take it personally. That's it.
Be able
And
to let go. That's a major thing. Some people don't let go. They feel bad and they want to, be able to let
no,
go.
no. I think
Mm-hmm.
the hardest thing is when someone stops being friends with you or you stop being friends with somebody, try not to cast them in a bad light. Because you
Yeah.
remember that these people are still gonna be other people's friends. And it's
Yeah.
this same thing you can apply to a relationship that didn't work again. Just say it just wasn't meant for us.
Mm-hmm.
Except they're really bad. Maybe they stole money from you or they slept with your boyfriend or something like that. Then, you can just say, oh, by the way, she's a cheerful giver, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try not to over romanticize the good times. I just say, you know what, we used to be friends, but we're not friends anymore. I don't know what happened.
It
Like
is what it is.
I want to deal with the hurt by myself so that when I'm talking about this person, I'm still not coming from that place of hurt. Yeah. And I think it's also godly to do it that way.
Yes.
Yeah. And also remember, you can be the toxic one too. As much as we're saying toxicity, you can be the toxic one too. So
Yes.
find out yourself, like why, whatever you're going through that is making you just give off this offensive smell to people around you. Not in the literal sense of it, but your spirit is not like blossoming.
Mm-hmm.
That aura coming from you is not a fragrant one. Then you need to find out what's going on.
Yes.
Kelvin said, as for me, I will say I don't have friends as much as I want because friends I call friends drew back as soon as I needed their advice. But I've always gone through for them as well as I can. Well, I don't know, Kelvin. For whatever reason, maybe your friends were just not in that space to help you with your issue. Why not just, if you really want to still maintain that relationship, why not just call them on it and say, hey, I don't like the fact that when I need your help, you're not there for me. And see what they say. Like just call them out on it in a very gentle way. Like this is what you need from them. Especially if you think you've been giving them a lot, but you're not getting something back, then call them out on it and do it in a very respectable way. That's my
Mm-hmm.
opinion on that. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you have anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. It's, talking about it. Communication is very, very key. When you feel a certain way, telling the person, hey, this thing that you did, this is how it made me feel. You understand?
Yeah.
And a lot of times I've noticed that I'm not gonna sound sexist, but this is just my general observation and my opinion only.
Women?
I've
Mm.
noticed that guys find it harder to talk about things. It's just
Really?
oh yeah, they find it harder to they just let it go. Guys tend to let it go
I thought
versus
it was
women.
women
At
that
least
did
the
that.
ones I've seen, women, no, women don't let it go. They want to talk about it. Sometimes they become vindictive, depending on their personalities. They might not talk about
Ah,
it. Something in them has not dealt with it. And whether you like it or not, the friendship is not necessarily the same. They might be smiling at you, but a part of them is looking for how to also bring you down.
I see, I
Not
see.
in
It's
the
a
sense
different
of, oh,
dynamic.
I'm going to destroy you, but there's something in them that doesn't want to see you move forward. You understand? Which is very toxic. Very,
It
very
is
toxic.
topic.
But I think, honestly, communication is a big part. Whether you're male, whether you're female, whether you're whatever it is, communication is very, very key. Being able to talk to the person and say, this thing you did, this is how it made me feel. The moment you've done that, you've done your part. It's not left for them to show you whether they're really your friends or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like that. And don't burden your friends with guilt of something they've done before. If they've
Yeah.
apologized sincerely, like Loretta
Let
said,
it
move
go.
on. And say when your friends hurt you and move on. Like just say it. Say it. Because I feel like it's those little things you think you can handle. And then they do it, they don't say it, they don't say it. And then it builds up
It
and then
piles up.
yeah. Yeah. You
Mhm.
know, so that's that. I think we've talked a lot about just, friendship. And I still go back to say that beyond romance, especially with girls, we need friends. And
Yes.
if you're married, and I think another thing people do is that they just let go of their friends because they're not married.
Mm-hmm.
Except your friends are like they were used to be like you, where you were snatching other people's husband. If it's not that kind of situation, just shunning your single friends because you're now married, I think that could be a mistake.
Yes.
You need friends in your life, except
Yeah.
you think they're not gonna be supportive of whoever you're marrying. So we need friends. We need friends. We need friends that share our values. But how do you know your own? If you don't know friends that share your value, if you don't know yourself, you won't find friends that share your values. So know things you're passionate about, know the lines you will not cross, and then find people like that. I
Mm-hmm.
know that friendship is give and take. You build into people and people build into it. It's not like you're trying to like check mark, like, oh, I gave them $5, they didn't give me the $5 back.
No,
No.
if you're doing that,
But
it's
have
not
a feel
friendship.
for it. Yeah, have a feel
Mhm.
for it. And I think to a lesser degree, forgiving friends and loving, friends and all of that could also be the way our relationship with the way God loves us as well. Not in a unconditional way, but that relationship can be mirrored to, it's not a perfect one, but I think to a lesser degree, it can mirror to our relationship with God. How we
Mhm.
communicating with God and things like that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a
And then when the
very
friendship is over, like Pastor Elliot said, it's okay for friendship to be over. It's not there's no rule in the book that says you have to be friends with somebody for a long time. No.
Mhm.
Some friendship are just seasonal. Then it's fine. Everybody goes their separate ways. If I see them
Mhm.
tomorrow, I can be able to say hi.
Mhm.
And we're gonna round off soon, but reward James said, is it reasonable to tolerate somebody or cut them off? I would not want to be tolerated in a friendship, and I would not want to tolerate anybody. Now, for that
Mhm.
word tolerate, I don't know what tolerate means. If it's like they have a flaw that are trying to work on, let them know, and then you guide them gently until they become that person they want to be, because you cannot change somebody. But as far
Yes.
as tolerating a critical flaw, that's a bad sign of a relationship, and it can build to toxicity, in my opinion.
Mhm.
I don't know what you have to say about that.
I think it depends on the definition of tolerating. Again, as friends, we should be there for each other. That's a very,
Yeah,
very key thing. And that
yeah,
means when someone is going through a certain phase in their life, I understand. You understand? And I can
yeah,
communicate with the person from that space. Like, for example, if I have a friend that is always happy and then she calls me, she's sad, and then, or she doesn't necessarily say this happened, but she's sad. Being able to
yeah,
know because I know my friend and say, hey, you don't sound so good today. What's really going on? You understand? And then listening for what's going on and giving them time to deal with it, not letting that affect you. You understand? And
yeah,
it's very key in being able to separate what someone is going through from the friendship. You have to be able to do that because people deal with
yeah.
things in different ways.
In
Yeah.
different ways, yeah, yeah. And that's understanding your friend, because like I have friends that I can even tell from their voice, like something is up, and I'm like, hey, do you want to talk about it? Like, no, like, okay, that's fine. We can talk about it later.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they don't talk to me about it, if they don't want to talk to me, I don't like say, oh, you didn't tell me what's going on with you.
Yeah,
No,
don't be that person.
don't be that person. Like that we are
Yeah.
friends doesn't mean you need to know everything about me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, except you're my husband, which is different. You don't have the obligation. I can only tell you as much as I want to tell you. And
Mm-hmm.
so if you're here, if you've hurt somebody and you take responsibility for that. And if you still feel that nagging feeling that you need to apologize, then go do it.
Mm-hmm.
You might not You might not want to have that friendship back, but if you betrayed the trust of somebody you love, at one point, maybe because we're not in the right space for it, go apologize. It's not too late. There's no statute of limitation
And it
on that.
doesn't take anything from you, honestly. It
It
shows that
doesn't. It
you
doesn't.
value them. There are people that
It
I
doesn't.
hurt in the past, and it's taking me, there are some friendships that it took me 3 years to apologize,
Yeah.
because you now move to a new space. You're like, oh my God, wow, this is what I did wrong. I'm mature now. I know, oh my God, that's, there's
Yeah.
sometimes that it helps to apologize. I've had someone
Yeah.
like that. I apologized to her and she said, hey, I know that this was what was going on and I forgave you a long time ago. And, so you have to be able to do that because it's important because remember, we talked about what you sow is what you reap. You might
Yep.
not see
Yep.
it as, like, for example, if I give Tolani $500 now, Tolani might not give me $500 back. Somebody else might not give me $500 back, but good will come back to me one way or the other. That's just
That's
how
it.
the universe works. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. And I'm gonna round off by just saying this, recapping what we've talked about.
Hmm.
To have good friends, you have to be a good friend.
Yes.
And if somebody confides in you something personal, as a Christian or whatever values you hold on to, you're not obligated to tell somebody else about it, except if it's like if they committed murder, you have to like talk to the cops or things like that. But please, don't betray the trust of those you love.
Hmm.
And then if you're hurting all the time, you can't help but hurt other people. So if
Hmm.
you find out that you're always hurting people around you, find out that thing inside of you that is just you're always not in that space to like give back. It could
Hmm.
be something you went through as a child. It could be maybe a trust that was betrayed, and it's not making you deal with other people that way. So
Hmm.
find out why you do things you do, especially when you're not, you're doing things that are very negative.
Hmm.
And also strive to manage. Try to build like healthy boundaries around your relationship. Some things
Yeah.
I cannot even take anymore. Like you can't call me and start gossiping about somebody. You can't call
Hmm.
me and start, doing things that my friends will be able to know what I like and things I don't like. And
Hmm.
then strive to manage the toxic relationships in your life. And most
Hmm.
importantly, strive to make sure that you are not being the toxic one in your relationships.
Hmm.
All right. With that, mic drop. Any final words, Loretta?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for thinking of me to bring me on here. I love to talk. so, so this has been very,
Wow.
very good. And it's also been a reminder to me to continue to be a good friend and, and to
Yeah.
continue to be healthy and whole. And, one thing I'll really want to leave us with is always pay attention to your energy, your indications, your that thing
Mm.
within you that says run away, or that thing within you that says yes, it's okay.
Your
Because
barometer.
that your inner voice helps a
Yeah.
lot. A lot of times we
Yeah.
ignore it so much, we suppress it that it's so little we hardly hear it. But being able to listen to that is very, very important. And again, we talked about forgiveness is key. Forgiving people is key. Forgiveness doesn't mean that I have to continue being friends with you, but forgiveness means I have let you go from that thing that you did that hurt me, and now I'm whole. And, let's stay physically, mentally, and emotionally healthy so that we give
Yeah.
off that good energy, not just to friends, but even to our children, our family, people around us. Yeah, that's all I have.
Yep. And I don't think it's wrong that you don't keep in touch with your friends regularly. I think it's just your personality type. And there are people that will appreciate that. So don't count. I don't think that's toxicity. That's your
Oh,
personality
me?
type. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it
doesn't
is.
make you any
Yeah.
less of a friend. I forget to mention that because we were talking about that like it was a flaw. No. If
Yes.
your
Yes.
personality is not someone that calls somebody all the time, it doesn't mean you love me any less as a friend. I would understand that as a friend because
Mhm.
you know yourself that way, you're self-aware. And as your mature friend, I should be able to understand that, oh, Loretta is the kind of friend that'll call me all the time. It doesn't
Mhm.
mean she loves me any less. So that's
Mhm.
that. Well, thank you guys and thank you so much, Loretta, for coming on the show. I really appreciate you bringing you
Thank
on board and
you.
talking about friendships. If you love this thing we're doing, check out www.musible.com. I have a lot of episodes on different topics with people. And leave a comment, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and let me know if you want to be on the show as well. I'm open to exploring other questions as well and topical areas. Thank you guys, and have a wonderful weekend. God bless.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Loretta. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.